Hey everyone, it's Neil with the Dastardly Gentleman. Today we're going to be talking about video game movies. And with me I've got Frank. Say hi, Frank.
All right. What's up?
That was so stupid. Frank, what's your favorite video game movie?
I don't think I have one.
Oh, come on.
I haven't seen the Warcraft movie yet,
I've
so
seen
the jury's still out.
I've seen the first 5 minutes of it, and it seems okay.
Um, I don't know. Maybe Silent Hill.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. I mean, I like the Silent Hill movie. I literally drawing a blank on everything else. I mean, like, not that I'm drawing a blank on the movies. I don't think that there's a good one.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, come on. That's not really a video game movie. That's a movie about video games.
That's still
No. I'm not
okay.
giving you that one.
Okay,
No.
fine.
Eh.
All right, so I'll take Silent Hill. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. What do you think about Prince of Persia?
I never saw it, even though I do like Jake Gyllenhaal. But
It actually wasn't too bad.
I also never played the games either.
I I didn't either, but I own all of them.
God damn it, Frank.
Look, shut up.
Okay, so what was the first video game movie you ever watched?
The Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
It's not a movie, but
The Mario Brothers movie was with Bob Hoskins was the first one that I
oh
watched.
god, that was the footnote, the entryway into terrible video game movies,
Yep. Pretty much.
and the start of John Leguizamo's career.
I don't know if that doesn't tell you anything about John Leguizamo. I don't know what does.
Hey, he's not that bad.
It's fucking awful. If the high point of his career is goddamn Super Mario.
It's not the high point. That's the beginning.
No, it's pretty much the high point.
Nah, he's done some good movies.
I don't believe that at all.
Well, then, fuck you.
Let's see. It's a series that I'm amazed. Like the first one was okay, but then I'm amazed it's still around. Is the Resident Evil movies?
They're actually decent, you know? I mean, the first one was good. First one was good.
The first one was good.
And then it progressively got shitty. But, good is a relative term in terms of other video game movies. It's good in relation to other video game movies.
That is a fact. Because if you put it against stuff like Blood Ring, Postal, Double Dragon, literally every movie Uwe Boll has ever made ever, then it's basically up for nominations of probably every award ever.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so what about movies that, I don't know, weren't made by big producers, like they were made directly by like animators and stuff. There's a lot of animes for like Street Fighter and stuff like that. Have you seen
Those are
any of
good.
those? Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
Okay.
I know. I guess whenever we say video game movie, I automatically think about like Hollywood's like grossly inadequate interpretation of video game everything. I was gonna say video game nostalgia, but it's really like they managed to horribly pervert everything that every video game has ever stood for ever.
For the most part, yes. I don't know. I don't understand why Hollywood can't just fucking get it right. They're pandering to a very large demographic, and every fucking time they do it, well, 99% of the time they do it, they just really fuck it up. Why?
Because they're like, oh, this is what the kids are after today. So like they want it to be like big and loud, and they want titties and tight clothes, and it's like that's none of that. None of that is what this is about. Because then they don't understand like the lore that goes with an individual character. I'm gonna pick on Blood Rain because it's the fucking worst. Um, Blood Rain is a cool game. I enjoyed the game. I enjoy the character. I love the fact that you're a I don't even know what you call him, a warglaive wielding vampire killing Nazis. I think that's fantastic. But then Uwe Boll, glare, makes this movie that's set in medieval times, makes no sense, has the worst budget, the worst acting, the worst special effects, and literally every chance he gets, somebody's naked. And then like it culminates into the all those I think it's like the last 10 minutes, like Rain's like getting her fucking like tuna pounded against a jail cell wall, and I'm like, why? Why? This has no relevance to literally anything.
Like,
It's just
okay,
it's just out of nowhere. Just it's awful.
like, okay, so apparently that guy is famous for fucking up video game movies. Why do they keep giving him chances, for one? And for two, what the fuck? Like, okay, so they pick these guys, and they're like, okay, this guy knows video games. You know, I mean, at least with the dude that did Silent Hill, I can't remember his name, but he stuck to the storyline. He stuck to the source material the best he could. Unfortunately, it didn't necessarily translate to the best movie ever. It was much better as a video game, but it was still a decent movie, and it was still a good fan service, even if you didn't understand the story or whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, it at least did that, but it sounds like this guy, and I've never seen any of his movies, but you've clearly seen a couple. It sounds like they keep hiring him, and he keeps just completely missing the fucking mark.
He's a producer too. So like, you know, he approaches video game companies to essentially like, you know, whore out their IP and be like, "Hey, can I make a movie for you guys?" And I imagine that like probably a lot of the publishers are like, "Yeah, go for it," because the video game is already old, because he makes movies of these games like way after like the game has been popular. So now it's like, you know, they get to squeeze a little bit more blood out of that stone. And they're just bad. They're so bad. He's made every Alone in the Dark movie. He made a Postal movie, House of the Dead, and Far Cry, and then the Blood Rain movies. And I just
None of which are good.
no, they're all bad. I mean, fucking Blood Rain has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And rightfully so.
Absolutely, rightfully so.
I've only seen clips of that movie, and I just wanted to shoot myself afterwards.
You know what kills me though is that like they got Ben fucking Kingsley to be in that movie.
What?
I know. I'm like how like I don't know. I just imagine that like he was like, you know, I got nothing to do for this week, because I can't imagine that he like whenever Uwe Boll was like, no, we got to do it again. Ben Kingsley's like, no, I'm sorry. You can go fuck yourself. This script is stupid. You'll get what you get, and you fucking deal with it. That would be my guess about what happened. Like, I've played fucking Shakespeare. Why would I be in your shitty movie? Jason Statham was in a new Ewe Boll movie.
He was, wasn't he? What was he in?
Yeah, In the Name of the King.
Jason Statham is in everything, though.
Yeah, I know Jason Statham. I think like his one of his big claim to fame is that he's an action star that literally has his fingers in every pie ever.
That's true. I mean, Jason Statham is, honestly, from everything I've seen, he's really only good when he's not an action star.
You know, I think that if we let him have enough time, Jason Statham will become the new Kevin Bacon. Or like they got like that 8 steps or whatever to Kevin Bacon. I can imagine that it's gonna be like 6 steps to Jason Statham, just because he's in so many fucking movies, whether or not like he's got a big part or not. He was even in that stupid, what was it, the Sprint commercial?
Was he?
Where he played a whole bunch of people. It was ridiculous, but I laughed, I have to admit. Still better directing than Blood Rain.
Well, since we're kind of on the topic of Jason Statham, what's your favorite Jason Statham movie?
I don't know, does the Expendables count?
No, it doesn't count.
I mean, it's not a Jason Statham. Look, he's not good.
Dude, he was great in Snatch.
I think great is kind of being grossly misused in this case.
I mean, he's an English guy, so he was great in Snatch.
So are you saying that anybody who has an accent immediately becomes like top tier actor?
No, he was just a. I mean, everybody there was English except for the Americans, but obviously he played the token English guy very well.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen Snatch.
You're missing out. It's actually a really good movie,
I've heard that. I've heard that it's good.
and it's probably one of Brad Pitt's best movie. I mean,
Well, I mean, he's also not good, so I mean that doesn't really take a lot.
yeah, but he's completely playing the opposite of his typecast in that movie. So,
My favorite movie with Brad Pitt was Burn After Reading because he gets shot in the face.
oh my God, when that happened, oh God, I did not see that coming.
I was literally in tears in the theater, and everybody was staring at me because I was laughing so fucking hard and clapping and cheering.
Like, I think I had nightmares about that. Because, like, okay, so he goes into this guy's house, George Clooney's house, right? And he's looking for something. I can't remember what. It's been a while since I saw the movie, but he's looking for, like, clues or evidence or something. And then George Clooney shows up to his house. And he's like, shit, I gotta hide. And he fucking hides in the closet. And, of course, in, I don't know, 99% of the movies you watch that somebody hides in the closet, they typically, get away. Brad Pitt doesn't get away. George Clooney eventually finds him, freaks the fuck out, and shoots him in the goddamn face point blank with a 38 snub.
Yeah, I mean, to preface that, he's pretending to be a spy so that he can get laid. So he's got to have this gun in his underarm holster, and he's trying to put the gun in the holster whenever he opens the closet, and that's whenever he sees Pitt, and Pitt smiles at him, and he literally like stumbles back, shoots the gun, and just pips him, just right in the face, and I lost it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Oh yeah, the camera does not pan away. It shows everything.
Full thing. I mean, we're talking full blood splatter, and then the dripping down the wall, and oh my god.
And honestly, like Brad Pitt's reaction was, "Shit, what do I do? I'll just smile. Fuck it. I mean, what can you do?"
Yeah. Hey, I know I'm totally breaking into your house.
So, while he's smiling, baring teeth, he gets a bullet to the face.
Yeah. My only regret is he only shot him the one time. Like you got to make sure,
Yeah, I don't know. Fight
What do you
Club
think
was
about
awesome.
what do you think about the Doom movie?
Oh God, that was awful.
It was awful, but I loved the end where like they went all first person, like ba, 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 ba.
I appreciate that they did that. It's an awesome fan service. But it was super fucking corny.
It was, but Carl Urban can only carry a movie by himself for so far.
I know. I mean, I love Carl Urban.
He basically put the rock on his back and was like, "Don't worry, I'll carry this movie for you." Because the rock was like every scene, the rock was like so unnecessarily intense.
Yeah, that's what I
Just
remember.
became awkward. I mean, he's like that in every movie, but like this is supposed to be like sort of like a sci-fi thriller, and the rock's like, "Do you want to go out?" And I'm like, "Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that in his face? What's wrong with him?" Maybe we didn't see it, but there was a gunfight and he got hit, and he's got a little piece of metal in here, and it just touches him. Weird.
That's probably what it was.
He like towards the end of the movie, like he's getting all stressed out. Part of his face is drooping. And he's like, "Does anyone else smell toast?"
Maybe he's just on a lot of cocaine.
He's like, "Ah!"
Oh man. Well, how about movies that aren't necessarily, based on a video game, but just have video game elements in it?
Are we talking about Pixels?
Oh God.
Are we
No.
talking about Pixels,
We're
Neil?
we're never talking about Pixels.
We can talk about Pixels if you want.
Look, I'm not talking about any Adam Sandler movie post 2000. Okay.
Probably my favorite is The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Fred Savage is so good.
The Wizard was very much so a sign of the time, and I loved that movie when it came out.
I watched it a couple of years ago, and I remember whenever like at the end, he's all like power glove, and I'm like, oh my god.
So dumb.
Like I remember it even whenever like the Power Glove came out, and my friend was like, "Hey, check this out! I got the Power Glove," and I'm like, "But I mean, like, you play it with two thumbs. Wait, I don't. What is it? What is that?
Look, they talked up the Power Glove so much in that movie, and it was the most worthless peripheral for anything ever. I mean, it was almost as bad as fucking Rob the Robot. Like,
But it was so cool looking.
it was cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. It had potential to do awesome things, but
Not even a little. No,
like,
no potential there.
well, I mean, for what it was. I mean, if we had a Power Glove now, that would be pretty fucking sweet with stuff we could.
Like only if it like could pick up tracking like for VR,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That and just get two of them,
and you could do porn and
touch boobies.
touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but then like you'd find yourself doing weird shit, like like you get too into it and you're like spitting into the Power Glove.
I wouldn't do that.
I probably would.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Power Glove, you may want to power down. You don't want to be part of this. Okay, well then Wreck-It Ralph obviously has to be a thing then.
Wreck-It Ralph is amazing, and I'm happy that Disney made it. Was it Disney or Pixar? It was both.
Well, I'll say like Disney owns everything, so
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, Disney Pixar. Um, man, I mean, like Mario Brothers movie, unfortunately, really was kind of the start of the slippery slope that is video game movies.
Yeah.
And I kind of have the same feeling about video game movies as I do about comic book movies, where it's like, Mario kind of gets a pass because Mario didn't really have a point other than a point A, point B, save the princess, everybody goes home.
Sure.
They actually try to make it a story. It was fucking retarded, but they try to make a story out of it. But then, like a lot of video games, like they've got a beginning, middle, and end. They've got an actual like storyline.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever they massively fuck it up, you're like, but it was drawn out for you.
Yeah.
Like Max Payne movie with Mark Wahlberg was a fucking hot garbage fire. So like they even did it on Mark Wahlberg. But like that movie was a travesty and in slow bullet motion. But like it's a heavy story game. How did you mess that up?
Right.
I mean, holy shit, the cutscenes are in fucking comic book form. Storyboard. Done. The Hitman games. Timothy Olyphant one was better than the new one, but it was awful. And it has a story, not followed. Just ignored completely. I just don't understand that.
And that's the thing. Like, okay, if you choose to go with a whole different kind of story, maybe like, okay, maybe do something like an origin story or like a prequel or something to the game, but have it fucking
Makes sense.
make sense and go along some sort of storyline, or even just fucking match the physics of that universe,
Right.
Like,
Make it relatively close. I mean, like, you don't have to be precise, but I mean, like, for fuck's sake, be in ballpark,
Yeah. I mean, that kind of reminds me, like, I mean, I didn't watch and I have no intention of watching, but like the Dragon Ball movie, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Will not watch it. Nope.
I won't either, and you know why? Because I just can't. I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
But like from what I've heard, not even fucking close. It has people with the same names as the characters in the fucking anime, but they didn't even try. And you know what? Dragon Ball Z doesn't have exactly the best storyline, but it has a storyline.
Get the fuck out of here. You leave. That was Ivanhoe levels of fantastic.
Shut the fuck up. Look, okay, Dragon Ball was always about the fight scenes and, training to the next fight scene. But as far as storylines concerned, they could have fucking wrapped up at least 4 or 5 sagas in a single movie and just, made the fight scenes last about as long as, I don't know, Neo versus Agent Smith.
Sure.
So, why did they just not even do that? Like, we should make a movie. If only somebody would give us millions of dollars to make a movie.
You know, a movie that actually kind of like really went along this like, so you have like a lot of older like Mario and like the old games. The one movie that actually was really close to following the the storyline and the characters and everything of its original inception was the Double Dragon movie.
I don't even remember that movie. I mean, I know it
It was
exists.
horseshit. So like you have Kid A, Kid B, who are ninjutsu kung fu flip check masters,
Yeah.
and then there is bad guy suit X who steals girlfriend Y, and then they beat up everyone on the way. Literally, that is Double Dragon.
It is. Did they
I mean,
stick to
that's
that?
I mean, and like literally, the rest of it just doesn't matter. Like it's like gobbledygook garbage in between, and then a bunch of stupid one-liners. Like you push somebody down a flight of stairs, but have a nice flight.
Fuck out of here.
You know,
No, I don't want to know.
or like you pull a car door off and you hit somebody with it and be like, "Let me get the door for you."
That hurts.
It does too, but that's like it was 1994 low budget movie. I'm gonna find out how much this budget was on this movie. Double Dragon budget. Will it tell me? No, the budget was $7.8 million.
No way.
Fuck out of here.
Get out of here. Well, that was 80s, right? So yeah. Fuck that.
No, 94.
Really?
Yeah, and you could tell it did not age well.
I'm sure it wasn't good for 94 either.
No, it wasn't. And the girlfriend like is fucking clearly older than all of them.
I mean, that's all right if you're into that kind of thing. I mean,
No, yeah, no.
age is just a number.
I don't know. I guess it depends on if everything stays where it's supposed to.
Everything's intact.
Yeah, I mean, like if everything's. Oh no, I recognize this guy. Oh, the guy who played the bad guy was the bad guy from Terminator 2.
Oh, Robert Patrick?
Yeah, yeah,
Damn, I'm surprised I remember his name.
yeah. Me too, because nobody else does. He's always T-1000.
Well, I love Terminator 2, so
Oh well, there you go.
there you go.
God, this movie's ridiculous. Just I'm looking at screen caps of Double Dragon. It makes me very fucking sad. Like the kid in the red's hair is really what makes me sad, because he's got that 90s like Jonathan Taylor Thomas like kind of sort of bowl cut that ends in the back and then gets like all short. It's atrocious.
I know what you're talking about. Ugh, that was the worst hairstyle ever. And you know what? It's hilarious when you see that nowadays.
I've still got a thing every time I see somebody in a mullet. I just feel like I need to, and you feel like I need to pray for them, because clearly they've seen a little too much Jesus.
Okay, so as far as a movie, like a fighting game movie, I know Street Fighter was garbage, but Raul Julia.
Killed it, dude.
Killed
He
it.
was M. Bison. I mean, he will always be M. Bison. He was so good.
He was.
He's the only reason to watch that movie.
He is. And you know what? He had the best speech of all time to Chun-Li.
He's fantastic. He was so good. I mean, like, oh my god.
And if you don't know what that speech is, basically Chun-Li is trying to fight, M. Bison, trying to get to him and kill him because he, wiped out her village when she was a kid.
Or whatever.
Whatever. And Bison says this: "My dear, when Bison graced your village, it was the most important thing to happen to you in your life. But for me, it was just Tuesday." I love that so much.
It's so good.
It's the best part of the movie, really.
My only disappointment in the Street Fighter movie is that Cammy White was in it and not in her battle thong.
Yeah, she was like covered up the entire time.
She was in full BDUs, and I was like, no, what? Stop it. Get naked.
Yeah,
No!
or at least wear your fucking cat suit,
Yeah.
But no, Street Fighter was garbage, but I did like Mortal Kombat.
It wasn't bad.
Mortal Kombat was
Christopher
decent.
Lambert, the first one, Christopher Lambert was really good in it.
Yes. And you know what? It stayed true to the storyline, which there wasn't much of one. Even though they got more and more into the storylines as Mortal Kombat progressed throughout PlayStation and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was decent, and the fight scenes were awesome. The music was fucking amazing. I think that was the first soundtrack I bought.
Yeah, me too. Fear Factory. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Mortal Kombat? The first one wasn't too bad. And then you had Annihilation.
Annihilation was fucking awful.
And it was so bad.
Wasn't there a third one?
No, they did a YouTube series
Okay.
of movies that is actually really super good.
You know what? I remember going back and watching Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation like in the last couple of years. I could not fucking watch Annihilation. I got like 10 minutes
They're
into
bad.
it. I'm like, oh god, the quality has gone down.
I mean, like, and it wouldn't be so bad if it like the acting wasn't like high school drama rehearsal bad.
Right.
Where it's like you can like when they're doing their lines, you can see them kind of like looking down, looking for the X to them to go stand on. They're like, "We are going to stop you, Shao Kahn." And I'm like, oh, please.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of that and a lot of like the special effects, like they were that of Army of Darkness,
Yeah, I know, but Army of Darkness kind of did it
like on
funny.
purpose. Yeah,
They did it. They did this, satire. But like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, there's some dude being like, "Man, we are fucking killing it. This budget is just unreal."
let's save like half of it and go to the strip joint.
Well, to be fair, I could see that too. I mean, like if they gave him the script and be like, "We need CGI for this," be like, "It's going to cost you $3 million, easy for sure." Oh yeah, no, do it in like 45 minutes. Be like, all right, we got like 2.95 million dollars to go blow the strip club. Let's do this.
Like,
Stickers and blow all night.
like okay, so anytime there was any kind of flying scene or somebody was flying through the air kind of thing, like okay, so in Army of Darkness when Ash is flying towards the portal to go back in time, you can clearly see, and they didn't even fucking hide it. It was like a long brown braided rope, the same you would see a hangman using, and fucking just carrying him across the set.
Right.
And he was like twisting and shit. They did the same thing in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It was just like, and their shirts were like all riding up on the fucking rope and shit. Like they didn't even try to hide it. It's like, oh god, why? Why?
But they were trying to be like for realsies.
Yeah, they were trying to be for real. This Army of Darkness was low budget and scary funny is what it was supposed to be. Funny, scary. I don't know. Whatever you would call it.
Funny.
Just, yeah, hilarious.
It was basically Xena and Hercules with a shotgun.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I didn't say it was bad. I said that that's what it was.
Like, I mean, if there were, if that was one of Xena's or Hercules' powers was to, I don't know, brandish a shotgun at any given time, that would have made the show infinitely more interesting.
No, Xena just branded bazookas.
See what you did there.
Please get naked.
She did, though.
I know she did in Spartacus,
Spartacus.
and it was like a big check off my bucket list.
Man, there was that whole scene in Spartacus where her and her husband were both getting fluffed simultaneously.
Yeah, she's getting finger blasted by the little Moroccan chick. It was fantastic. I wonder if she's trading the sticky for the icky. But like, I just there was many hot and heavy masturbation sessions after that. It was terrible. It was one of those days where like you wonder what you've done wrong in your life. 'Cause you're like tug Xena tug. It was bad.
Fucking Lucy Laws. Have you seen any of the new Evil Dead TV show?
Nope.
I literally stopped watching after I saw Lucy Lawless.
Why?
Not because like it was bad or anything. It's just because, yep, of course she's in this. So I'm like, I'm done.
Well, her husband's the producer.
I know, but it's like, okay, all right, they're doing this whole new thing with fucking Bruce Campbell, and it's decent, it's in the spirit of Evil Dead 2-ish, Army of Darkness.
Right.
And then fucking Lucy Lawless is there all of a sudden. Like, and she's like the big turning point of that one episode. I'm like, I'm not surprised. I'm like, it's supposed to be a surprise. Oh, look, it's Lucy Lawless. Yeah, no, of course she's there.
My mom would like, she's not naked. There are problems here. Disturbance in the force. And what about video game movies? What do you think about the Final Fantasy movie?
I really liked Advent Children. I think that I felt like it was more like a really long music video. than
Yeah.
it was a movie.
Well, because they all had fantastic K-pop hair.
Yeah, that and all the fucking fight scenes were just like made out just to be like a fucking music video. Especially the last fight scene with Sephiroth. It was like a montage, you know?
It was so good though.
I'm not
Like
mad about it. I'm just saying
no,
they could have been like 3 times as long and I would have been fine with it.
yeah. What about Spirits Within?
That movie was so bad. Like, it was the first. I saw that in theaters when it came out.
So did I.
And I was like super excited. Oh my god, Final Fantasy! It's finally happening. And it was nothing like any of the games at all, except for there's a dude named Sid in it.
Yeah, and I didn't understand it because I was like Final Fantasy, fuck yeah, because like what was it like at the time, like it was like Final Fantasy 7, 8 around that time.
7, 8, something like that.
And I was just like, Final Fantasy, there are so many that they can pull from. And then like I actually saw the thing and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I'm like, oh, I'll go see it because it's Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. So I'm sitting through it and I'm like, I don't understand what is going on. I'm like, this is literally nothing like any Final Fantasy fucking ever.
Yeah,
And
it
so
was
I just,
like
you like, it almost felt like you had like a disconnect.
yeah.
And I'm just like, and I'm like, who are these characters? You know what? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's nobody I know.
Well, I mean, even if it wasn't anybody, even if they established it as new characters, it's like there was nothing about it that made it. I don't want to say entertaining, but nothing about it that made it like invoke any kind of feeling. I mean, it was
Yeah.
every Final Fantasy up until then, with the exception of 7 and 8, and even then they were kind of more of medieval kind of. There's
Yeah.
at least swords and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And there was none of that in
No, it was all
Spirits
laser
Within.
guns.
Laser gun. It was very far into the future.
No materia.
It's like, yeah, it was like fucking sci-fi, and
Yeah.
very little magic. And Final Fantasy was huge on magic.
Yeah.
Is huge on magic.
And I just like for like the cast was actually very well acted, but like the characters were extremely forgettable, and the color palette they chose to use for the animation, I'm like, this movie is very brown.
Yeah,
Like it looked like everything was super dusty all the time. It was either ashy or it was brown.
well, they were going for the post-apocalyptic look, which Fallout New Vegas had the same exact color palette.
That's probably why I didn't play it for very long. I was like, this is extremely dull.
Yeah, but you're a dummy, so.
Well, I also couldn't go 20 minutes without murdering someone.
Well, that's.
The more they begged, the more they needed to be shot.
And I agree that's a great path to take.
Well, hold on. Somebody write this down. Neil agreed with my penchant for murder.
A video game. But yeah, no, it had nothing to do with Final Fantasy, like at all. Like nothing thus far in the Final Fantasy series had anything in that movie except for a dude named Sid, which was kind of customary as Final Fantasies go. But the fucking lasers, the monsters were shitty. I mean, there was no Bahamut, like nothing.
Yeah. So just looking at these like Metacritic and Rotten Tomato scores, no video game movie has gotten over 45%.
Wreck-It
The
Ralph
close.
has.
Okay, I'm talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Get with the fucking program. Damn. No video game movie has gotten over 45%. The closest one was Final Fantasy. It was at 44.
What the Spirits Within?
Yeah.
I mean, they did a great. I mean, that was cutting edge for the time. It was all CGI, and no movie had done that yet. So,
Alone in the Dark has a 1%.
I'm so sad.
Well, it's also a new Ewe Boll movie, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, look at Pixels. That got like what, 3, maybe. I know it got like a 3.5 on IMDb.
16%.
Oh,
IMDb has it at 5.6 out of 10. I think that somebody's probably clicking refresh a lot.
but
The That movie is so bad, and I know, and I think I don't know because like fucking what's his name plays Tyrion. Oh God help me. Um,
The Dinkles.
yeah, Peter Dinklage. He's not a good actor. He just lucked out. Um, Adam Sandler, like I love in that movie that he's got that clear like you, that vacant, soulless look in his face the entire movie. Just
He's just like that now.
I know every movie I see, like the what is it the fucking western that they just did?
Oh yeah.
God, the Ridiculous Six. Yeah, same thing.
Like
Kim James can go fuck himself.
I agree. He's a piece of shit. But ever since what movie was it? It was like Funny People. He's had that like look on his face where he was like, I'm fucking done. I'm only doing this for a paycheck. Like,
It's like, why do you have to keep being in movies then? I mean, like, there's no way that you can possibly be spending that much money.
well, that's the thing, and he's even said it before that the only reason he ever does movies anymore is because he and his friends can go to remote locations and party after the shooting is done. That's it.
It makes me wonder why people would even hire him.
Because his fucking movies still bring people in the theaters, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just wish that people just need to stop doing that. They need to stop giving him money.
People need to stop doing that. People need to stop pre-ordering. God damn it, people.
Unless they got like a cool statue. You should probably pre-order that.
No, you shouldn't. You stop telling people that, Frank.
Just saying, If you got it, flaunt it. Big statue.
You're the worst.
Fluff my boner.
I'd say my favorite video game movie or movie about video games is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
It's like it's not even about video games. It's just a video game like similar but not equal to. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good movie for what it tried to do.
Right.
And I appreciate that. I watch it all the time. I've probably seen it about 30, 40 times because I just think it's that good.
Yeah.
Even-
The effects were pretty neat.
Yeah.
Ramona Flowers definitely gets around.
I'd hit it.
She gets spread around like really cheap peanut butter.
And that's okay.
I mean, sure.
Hey, to each their own.
Yeah. They made a Need for Speed movie.
I saw Aaron Paul. I don't know if it's any good, is it?
I don't know.
What's the rating on it?
Look, I don't even play Need for Speed. 23%.
Oh, okay.
6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. It's higher than fucking Pixels.
Well, that's not hard to do.
That's true.
It did have Aaron Paul in it, and Aaron Paul,
I don't know who that is.
he was in Breaking Bad. He was a co-star.
Oh, you play Jesse?
He's Jesse.
Oh, okay.
Jesse.
Gotta cook.
Yeah, that's the guy. But he does all right. As far as that Need for Speed, did it really have a fucking storyline ever?
Right. And then it became like he's got to go for. Okay, I guess I could just actually look at the blurb if I can ever find it again. It's like he has to like go for fucking drug smuggling or whatever,
Yeah.
something like that.
Real fast and
Race
cars.
muscle cars in an underground circuit, struggling to keep his business afloat. Okay.
So Fast
He
and
gets sent to
Furious.
prison. Yeah, it's fast. It's budget Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
And I love that you asked me if like it's any good. Like I would have ever actually watched it, seeing as how it has a whole lot of shit in it that I don't even remotely fucking care about.
No, bitch. I asked you if it was good because you had the window open.
No, I've never seen it. It's terrible.
Okay, well.
I'm sure it's terrible because it's got nothing but cars in it.
I mean, those movies have their place, and honestly, they're good popcorn movies.
No.
So
Completely unrelated. No, almost unrelated, but not related. There's a DOA movie.
okay.
It looks basically like a porno, but unfortunately isn't a porno. The really funny part about it is that a lot of it apparently takes place on the beach, I assume for shameless eye candy. Hilariously, it's basically DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball and not actually like an actual Dead or Alive.
So it's not a fighting game. It's just a knockoff.
Well, sort of, because they're fighting on the beach, but they're fighting in bikinis.
Is there a volleyball and a volleyball net?
There should be, but there's not. I do say Ayane, who still has purple hair, and so does everyone else around her. They're all wearing purple. Okay.
Whatever.
Look, I don't care. God damn it, I want Dead or Alive 3 to, or Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 to come to the United States.
Yeah.
You guys are a bunch of motherfuckers and we can't have good things anymore.
Well, if you had one video game to be made into a movie and made properly by your standards, what would it be?
Metal Gear.
Of course.
But like the problem with it is that there's too much to it. There's too much material.
Look, you could make, a franchise out of it. That's fine.
Okay. Then yeah, Metal Gear. It had to be like probably 12 movies.
Well, as far as Metal Gear is concerned, it basically is a movie with stuff in between, Especially like the Metal Gear Solid, like the original on PlayStation. There was a lot of cutscenes, and it was great.
There's still a lot of cutscenes. I mean, like, that doesn't change any.
And you know what? I mean, it had a great storyline. It had great characters.
Yep.
So I'd say it translates very well to a movie.
You think that until, some asshat in Hollywood's like, you know what this movie needs? Explosions and boobies.
Boobies.
And then, I just crash into a building with a fucking truck and just cry all over his desk. Why have you done this to my Metal Gear?
That reminds me of that news article I wrote, or not wrote, I read. The one about the guy that crashed into the Nexon building.
Yeah, but that makes sense, though.
Well, he was mad because he was addicted to Nexus, the video game. And he wanted 10 years of his life back, so he drove a car into Nexon's corporate building.
He should have drove really fast and gotten a full refund. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I think that would have been great. Or it'd be even better, like, he hits it and then goes through the window and then like lands like in the little intern area, and he's all fucked up and bleeding, and some intern looks at him and goes, "Booyah!"
Booyah!
You know what I'm saying?
You're the worst person ever. No.
Shut up, you love it.
No, that was the worst. And I respect you less now. Okay.
Low-hanging fruit,
Yeah, I suppose. So, I mean, I don't know. What would I know you didn't ask, but I'm going to ask myself this. What would I choose for a video game to become a movie? I don't know. I think Final Fantasy 6 probably needs a proper movie.
Jared Leto can play Kefka.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look, he's really good at being a psychotic clown, I hear. At least that's what other people seem to think.
Like, I remember in high school, for like at least a semester, I was casting for this movie that I wanted to make of Final Fantasy 6. The only one I remember that I casted was Antonio Banderas for Cyan, or Cayenne, however you say his name. That's about it. The rest I don't remember.
You could tell how long ago high school was for us, because now Antonio Banderas would probably trip all over himself and die doing any kind of movie ever.
That's true, especially being a fucking samurai warrior.
Yeah. Although, he was really good in The Expendables 3.
He was really good in Desperado.
That's true.
Those were good movies. I did like those.
I agree.
All right, folks. Well, if you like what you heard, please rate, subscribe, like, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and donate on Patreon if you really like us. We'll be having a new one out soon. But until then, we'll see you later.
Booyah.
You're the worst. Get the fuck out of here.